Hey guys, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Pocket. In today's video, we are talking about the new Cresselia EX that we just got in the event. This video is going to be the first part talking about it. I'll leave timestamps as well. Then I'll look through some different deck ideas and that I've been having a little play test with. It's still very early. And then I'll show you guys a couple replays from the deck that I was having the most fun with. So first of all, Cresselia EX. I'm not a big fan of the card. I don't like where it sits in the current meta. I don't like the stall playstyle either, so it doesn't match my playstyle and it doesn't fit into the meta at the moment with all the Darkrai and Dark decks running around. But let's talk about it. So you got 140 HP, you're an EX, which means you cost 2 points. You've got double Psychic plus 1 Colorless to do an attack for 80 damage, 2 Retreat, and your passive is that when you attach an Psychic energy to it from the energy zone, it heals itself for 20 damage. I desperately wish this was healing the Pokemon in the active spot. It's not, so I'm not going to go off on my massive tangent about that. But this thing basically is like the inverse of what the Darkrai EX is, and Darkrai EX is definitely much better in my opinion. But the thing about this is, with the passive, the one caveat is if you are playing the Gardevoir, Gardevoir does actually heal it because it does attach from the energy zone. So that is something else to take note of. But in general, I'm not a massive fan of this card because it's an EX wall. Which, you know, it's very hard to kill like early game, but the problem is you will take chip damage, which leaves it open to Osiris later game once they've got their big swingers set up. I honestly almost prefer the normal Cresselia because it's a 1 point sacrifice. Yes, it's obviously harder to heal. It doesn't have the passive and stuff like that. But this thing is just in such an awkward spot, which means the one ideal place that I can kind of see, like its quote unquote best spot, would be like a 1 copy in a Mewtwo EX deck as a wall. Because the problem with a lot of what you're doing is, like, the other one that it kind of works in is Miss Magius, which we'll talk about in a sec. But you don't want to be playing this thing as much with other 1-pointers where they're going to always get that Cresselia EX as 2 points because either they break through your wall early or you pivot it out and it's not a full HP, which means they Cyrus it later because Cyrus is just everywhere. So that is why it's in a very awkward spot. But let's go ahead and take a look at a few decks that I wanted to mention. So like I said, this first one here is just your standard Mewtwo EX with the Gardevoir. Normally this would be filled with like a Mew EX spot. Take your pick on your trainer cards. I just put like a little roster in here to go through. Getting it to the 160 is nice with Giant Cape. You can also run it with Rocky Helmets to punish people attacking it. It makes it a better wall for deterrence. But essentially, like, this is where, if you're putting Cresselia EX into a deck and trying to get the highest win rate whilst using Cresselia EX, this is honestly the best one I can think of at the moment because the Mewtwo EX is just a good deck. And, you know, a lot of the time, maybe you just don't even get around to the Cresselia EX and that's why you win. So this would probably be my best one in the current state of the game, but once again, I don't think the Cresselia EX is really doing a ton to this deck to make it good. But I wanted to put that one in there because, like I said, I feel like if you're trying to run the card and get wins with it, this is probably going to be the best results you might have. Once again, you guys let me know in the comments if you have anything else that you think would perform better, but I am struggling with it at the moment. The next deck we move into, this is the one that I'll have some replays with. It doesn't synergize perfectly well because, once again, as I mentioned, that problem with the Cresselia EX, if it gets low and you have to swap out to the Magnezone, you know, ideally you try and make them take either a Magnezone and a Magnemite or 2 Magnezones for single pointers and then finish off with the Cresselia. But due to the existence of Cyrus, whenever you retreat out with the Cresselia, they're going to eventually kill your Magnezone and then they're just going to drag that Cresselia in when you're trying to sacrifice another single point. So it's not the greatest, but this does actually work okay. I had a couple decent wins with it. One against a Darkrai Weavile deck as well, which was I was pretty happy about, but it's fun. The Magnezone, and the problem is, like, it's not your best Cresselia deck, and it's not your best Magnezone deck, but it's a bit of fun if you want to try and play around with it. Once again, trainers are up to you on what you want to do. I slapped a potion in just for the extra little bit of healing. Cape and Rocky Helmet because options are good. Plus, you got Magnezone at the 140 mark too, so getting either one of them to 160 ain't too bad. We run the Sabrina. You could run the one Cyrus as well if you wanted to. I put the Dawn in there for the cheeky plays of if you get an early Magneton, you can Dawn onto Cresselia EX. I never really got that to work too well, so, those are the options. But once again, that's a little bit of fun just because of the splash ability of the Magnezone, only running the Psychic in this deck as well. Moving on to the next one. This one was actually a little bit of fun. It only works really against low swinging decks. But I did win against a few fighting decks. Obviously, we have the advantage against them. But, you know, they're like the aggro decks that don't have the big hitters. And even though we have the advantage, so we deal a bit more damage, it was like the stall capacity of being able to survive with the Cresselia. And the idea behind this one was that you can use Cresselia to tank. You have the Shaman in there. Your Mew is there just to try and... That was my one attempt to try and counter the big hitters if you were coming up against them. It didn't work too well because you just never had the room to put all the energy onto the Mew. But this was kind of fun because the idea was that you tank with Cresselia until you can build this normal Gengar up. And then by the time you build the normal Gengar up, you can swap it with the Cresselia. It only costs you 1 energy so that you can then swap it in. And then it can take the active spot. It's got 130, which is still reasonable bulk, which gives you a couple turns to heal Cresselia with both Shaman and putting energies on, and we run a potion in this deck, and the Gengar only costs that 1 energy, and you lock your opponent out from doing the Cyrus play. So this was like my thought through this deck of, you know, it doesn't really work because Cyrus is just killing me every time, and I was like, wait, this can stop me getting Cyrus. The Gengar has good energy efficiency as well, so that I could retreat and heal up. I threw the Shaman in there for a little bit of fun as well. Once again, I'm running the Rocky Helmet, the Giant Cape. The trainers, you can really, I didn't iron them out. I just threw a bit of everything in there. Just to experiment with. But, you know, this one was, like I said, a bit of fun, but I'd honestly probably just drop the Mew, put something else in there, and just hope you fight enemies that don't get big hitters on board quick, and see how you go, because the Mew was just too hard to get the energy on because you're spending too much energy just trying to keep Cresselia alive. But it's definitely a bit of fun. I did enjoy this one, but yeah, definitely not as good on wins as the Magnezone one, just because Magnezone is really strong. But nonetheless, a pretty fun sort of deck. So for this Mismagius one, I had to do it on my free-to-play account, which had all of these cards. This is what I could piece together, except I didn't have the Mismagius second copy. So it was a little bit scuffed. But in general, once again, if you get the Gardevoir online and you're healing Cresselia for, you know, the 40 per turn with energy placements, it does feel good, but it just feels like the amount of times it works is not that great. And this deck, honestly, I'd be more tempted. Like, another deck you could try is like dropping the Misdreavus, Mismagius, and just running like 2 Mews in those spots. And then the idea is, like, you know, you got Cresselia as a wall and Mew as your counter to things that hit hard by copying their ability. And that could be a play. I definitely think that could be a thing. But I found often with this deck when it won, it was due to lucky confusions and stuff like that. And normally the high retreat cost decks that, you know, then they need to retreat. And if they retreat, they're down on energy. So they try and swing, and then you get lucky on a flip. So that's the way I found this deck working most of the time. But once again, it does feel good when you get the Gardevoir and, you know, they're hitting the Cresselia and you get to load it right up. But it's still, it wasn't quite there. I do think Mismagius has a place in other spots, in other things, but I definitely don't think Confusion is as strong as Sleep, but I'm not a big fan of RNG type, you know, flips to win games either. So that is a look at that one. Once again, I do think maybe dropping the Mismagius, Misdreavus line and putting a double Mew in that could be another option. But I still think, once again, the Mewtwo, if you're playing the Gardevoir line, I feel like you're just playing the Mewtwo and you play the one Cresselia as a tech, and that's kind of where you're looking at. But that is a look at that one. But that is my thoughts around the decks so far from Cresselia EX. Once again, let me know if you guys have anything else that's seems really fun. I just did not have a lot of fun playing with Cresselia. Personally, just not my playstyle, but yeah, I did record a couple games from the Magnezone deck because the rest I played on my phone. This was the one that I played in the room, so I'll show you guys a couple of those games. Hope you enjoy. Alright, going second with the Magnezone deck. Oh, it's a dark deck. Okay, that sucks. We do have the Oak. Got the Dawn and the Leaf. Dude, I am so sick of seeing, like, just the stall is killing me. It's just not fun. Especially when you're trying to experiment with off-meta decks on a new card, which is a Psychic card, which is weak to dark. Like, oh my god. This is toxic. I hate this meta. I can no longer play a game of Pokemon TCG Pocket on the toilet. because I can't justify sitting on the toilet for 15 minutes. It just doesn't work. It was a bad draw. Let's see this. Okay, that was okay. That's a good start. We'll take that. And then we'll just slap that on you. And I mean, the thing about this deck is we can swing next turn with the Dawn if we do happen to draw or oak into the Magneton, which, you know, we see 3 cards by then. So let's see. And unfortunately, we got the Cyrus and not the Sabrina, because the Sabrina would have been huge. But I do like this Greninja line one. It just lets you chip so hard, especially with Rocky Helmet Druddigon. Like, this dude's going to be chipping for 80 damage per turn. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's thin this down because we need the Magneton. Do we actually need the Magneton? Is that what we really want? Magnezone? No Magneton. I'm going to do this and try and get the Magneton. Okay, nice. We did oak though, so we can't do that at this stage. We can start charging this bad boy. Which means in a couple more turns we can take action with him. So... turn. So I just really want him not to Frogadier this turn. And then it'd be good because we got the Sabrina. Because now we might force him into sacking a point to us. Okay, so we do this first up. We heal that. And then what we do is we Sabrina. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Which means now we can Cyrus chase him. Okay. I thought sack the Froakie and keep protecting. But I was just going to basically sack the... use the Magnezone to kill the Druddigon. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, okay, we get to chase. This is the power of the Sabrina Cyrus. It's huge. So that's... I feel like if he doesn't make Frogadier this turn, we kind of got game. Yeah, I think we got him. Nice. And once again, we have the Magnezone to go ahead and kill that if we need to. So we can Volt Charge, which is absolutely amazing. But we may as well just Cyrus chase down kill. We'll top ourselves off again. Yep. Keep that healthy. Yeah, GG's. Nice. We beat a Darkrai deck. Honestly, I think he made a misplay not sacking the Froakie. But, you know, I guess he thought the odds of me having Sabrina and Cyrus in hand were pretty low. So, hey, we'll take a win. All right, second. Fighting deck. No Cresselia in hand, unfortunately, really sucks. All right, let's see what we can do. Hopefully we get the Cresselia. Fingers crossed we get the Cresselia. If he puts another Riolu on the bench, we're in trouble. Because then next turn he can swing for 60. Which is really bad, so... yeah. So we need to get a Cresselia. Yep. And we need to Giant Cape because you've got a 2 retreat cost, so we can't even rely on the energy next turn. I mean, we can just do this retreat now. Let you soak the damage and hopefully live through it and hope that he doesn't have a Sabrina along with the evolution, because that would suck. Giant Cape, I don't see much point to. Sabrina, no point. Let's go. Alright, so unfortunately we're on the back foot by 1 energy. Which if we started the Cresselia, we would have been in a lot better position, but let's see. Yeah, if he has Sabrina... Does he have it? No, okay. He's swinging for 40, which means if he has the other one, he's swinging for 80 next turn. Which I think, in that case, I just Sabrina here. Install him. Because unless he has a leaf, puts us in a better position. And yeah, this is just the awkward thing with Cresselia. Just feels so awkward. Alright, so we heal. There's no need to cape yet. That thing's got a full retreat. There's no way he's getting that thing out. He must have a Brock in hand. So let's end turn. He's not going to deal damage next turn, which means we heal back up to full. Okay. I mean, we can put you on the bench. That's... I don't think that hurts. Oh, or... No, because we've got the Magna Zone, so we're kind of okay. I'm not going to... do we do it just in case? No, because we've got no leaf. So if we get dragged out, we've got no retreat. Because we don't even have the Dawn to get the extra energy or retreat. So we'd be stuck in with that Cresselia. So let's just leave this one here doing its thing. He can swing for 70, then we heal again, and he's not in killing range. Oh no, he's swinging for 90. So double 90s is really going to hurt me. So next turn, I might have to just energy retreat and kill with Magna Zone. And then sack the Magna Zone, then we're just on the complete back foot. So I really need to draw a leaf. Turn. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, that starting Magnemite and having to energy retreat really hurts. Okay. Because now, if he's got the other Lucario, that's the other thing. Okay, I'm guessing he doesn't have it yet. Otherwise, he would have played it. So we've got to hope he doesn't draw the other Lucario this turn. And now we're going to have to manually place plus the retreat. It's a really bad situation. So we've got a full energy retreat. And I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put this up. Just keep in mind, we got to get the full, we got to get the full whack. We got to get all the points. The most he can swing for is 100 here. So we're going to get the 3 kills. Okay, he mustn't have had it. Because like we guarantee 1 more kill there. And then we'd have to stall out with our healthy Cresselia. But hey, we'll take the win. Second. Dark Deck, okay. All right, that Pokeball needs, it absolutely needs to be a bloody Magnemite. Then we might have a chance. Okay, he got a bad hand too. That Pokeball, I need to win that 66.66% chance. Let's see. Okay, early cape. See, I'm very tentative on using my my equips. My tools, I want to make sure it's like gonna have an effect before I do it. Okay, Pokeball, please be Magnemite, 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 please be Magnemite. It's 2 Magnemite, 1 Magnezone, 1 Cresselia. Yes, thank you. Turn. I mean, if I'm him, I'm just evolving that Magnemite, provided he has it, yeah, and then attaching to Darkrai and just waiting. Can he evolve? Oh, he can't evolve yet, okay. Which means we do get to do this. We get get to do that. Which heals us up. Okay. Now, I think the big key in this kind of matchup is I've got to retreat my Cresselia for Magnezone before Cresselia, like when I can fully heal it with the energy on the bench. But I still need a couple turns, obviously. So he wants to get his Druddigon out, would be his ideal play. Because he knows I'm attacking next turn, so he probably wants to get the Drud out if he has it. I think he's probably too scared to switch to his Darkrai at this stage. I mean, we'll take the win. But I would have loved him to have got his Druddigon out and then seen what could have happened from there.